Hey guys, it's PC performance time, and right now we're going to be doing Final Fantasy Lightning Returns on PC. As you can see right now, it's already running better than X2. We're actually at 59.9 frames per second, and my hardware is an i7-4770K, kept at stock clocks, running off a single 970 GTX card. There is no SLI support, which I didn't really expect from Square-Enix anyway, so it's not really that much of a big deal. Shouldn't even need SLI support for this game since, I mean, come on. It's a straight up PlayStation 3 port to PC. So, with that being said, I'd like to show you some of the options first. I'm going to turn off the on-screen display. Oh yes, but before I do that, the game is DirectX 9, so don't be expecting out of this world textures and visuals. Sorry, no Witcher 3 style graphics. It's not going to happen. So let's turn that off. First I want to go into the options, because there's one thing that really was driving me crazy at first, and it's something you actually have to manually go into and change, and that is the on-screen button explanations. You have to change it to controller type, because if you don't, it's automatically going to be set to keyboard type, and even if you're playing with your controller, it's not going to recognize that when you're actually playing the game. I'll give you an example here. Now, as I'm walking around, I go up to Hope, see how it says back talk. It's like, well, what the heck's that supposed to mean? Even though I'm playing on my controller right now, it doesn't recognize that. You actually have to manually go in to the settings, go down to the on-screen button explanations, controller type, go back, and everything can work again. Same thing when you, right now I'm using X to move down, I'm using my keyboard, doesn't recognize that I'm using my keyboard, so it's still showing the controller. Now the one thing that's really upsetting is there's no mouse support. The only thing your mouse is good for is to see the cursor and to go up to your 1999 style graphics options in the far left corner, because they're not even actually in the settings in the game. You actually have to go to the top left corner to go to your PC options, and you got type 1 and 2 for button assignments. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Now you have display format, goes from Windows to full screen. Display resolution 720p to 1080p. That's where it's capped in between. So yeah, I would have liked it to go to 4K resolution, you know, being able to use DSR, or if you're one of those people that have a 4K monitor, you're going to be very upset because, sorry, this game's locked at 1080p. Now I'm pretty sure there's going to be some mods and ways to go into the INI file to unlock this. But the point is, it should have been unlocked from the very beginning. Now, another thing that's kind of confusing is the rest of these options. All they do is say this one is the only one that actually has no scaling, standard, advanced. Everything else is either standard or advanced. I mean, there's no real explanation to what these do. Shadowing, okay. There's the shadowing. Let's look at those shadows. Okay, you can see some jaggies. See if this makes any difference. It's a little better. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's better than PlayStation 3. I haven't played a PlayStation 3 in ages, so I'm just kind of hoping And you can see there actually is somewhat of a difference between the standard and advanced. I mean, it's not that much. I mean, the color correction, okay, that looks just weird. You know what I mean? Advanced, okay. But here's the fun part. Now I'm going to turn on the on-screen display. Right now we're currently at 59. Now the frame rates are capped at either 30 frames or 60. So when you go to fixed, that takes you down to the original PlayStation 3's 30 frames per second lock. Lovely, isn't it? Console 30 frames per second. Then again, they were at 720p on PlayStation 3, so now you go to dynamic. Since I guess that makes PC users dynamic, we get 1080p 60 frames per second. Now let's get out of here and see if we can maintain that, because that's one of the things that really plagued X2 was, you know, you'd be playing at 60 frames and next thing you know you're dropping down to 42, 30 frames per second, and it was just ridiculous. And it showed just how badly the game was ported over. Now just in here we were dropping down to 48 frames. Now as you can see, the AA is just ridiculous in this game. You can really see a lot of shadows. I mean, sorry, freaking not the shadows, but you can see the jaggies just get ridiculous. And Japanese with their pervy young looking girls with pink hair, you know, had to throw that in there. But yeah, you can see those terrible jaggies need some serious AA adjustments, and there is no AA adjustment in this game. However, I'm pretty sure you could adjust that with your control panel, either if you have an NVIDIA or a AMD GPU. You can go into your control panel and adjust that. But right now I'm just kind of showing you straight out of the box, no modifications via control panel or anything like that. Okay, let's skip this scene, and it's not letting me skip it. Hold on. Skip it. I mean, you still see the console loading screen. I dislike how this loading screen drops the frames down to 44. I'm not going to make a big deal of that, but it's pretty funny that it drops the frames down. Well, it kind of dropped down to 57 right there. 49, 52, 58. Doesn't make any sense though. I mean, you would think this game would stay at a constant 60 frames per second, but apparently it doesn't. It's kind of a letdown. Alright, well, see, here we go again. 47, 53. I mean, really? Is it that hard to bring over a port to PC, especially one that's based off PlayStation 3 freaking hardware? I mean, there should be no reason to be dropping below 60 frames ever, especially on the hardware I'm using. Ever. But apparently it's just too much to ask for. Well, at least that went well. Didn't drop below 61, so I guess that's a good thing. But I mean, come on. just moving through this area, there should be no reason I'm dropping below 60. I mean, I guess I'm making a bigger deal out of it than it is, but at the same time, I'm not, because there's just no excuse for it, you know? I mean, it's like either optimize right for PC hardware or don't bring a game to PC at all. I mean, if you're going to be making games based off freaking 7, 8 year old hardware, I'm not sure how long PlayStation 3's been around, but I'm just giving an example. If you're going to make a game based off hardware from 8 years ago, there's no reason it should be dropping below 60 frames per second ever, especially if that's what you're going to lock it at. It's just ridiculous. But so far the combat has been really smooth in the game. It just seems like a lot of the running around the cities has been a just awkward performance. I mean, it's not going to be a, oh, I hate this game, I'm going to hit the refund button, but still though. Now, if the combat was like dropping in frames constantly, then I'll tell you what, I would have hit the refund button instantly. I would have said nope, 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 so much nope. But like I said, so far combat has been really good. No stuttering. That's because I just can't stand stuttering in games. It just drives me freaking nuts, especially when, you know, all the money you put into making a gaming PC and then you get a crap port and it's like, really? Makes you just want to hit that refund button and play it on a console if you have a console. Now see, look at that, 46, 40, I mean, are you kidding me? Is this game having issues because I'm running it off a hard drive? I mean, or is it just crap? I mean, you look at GPU utilization, the game says it's using anywhere from 20 to 40% utilization of a single 970, which is pretty insane, especially considering the fact that you drop in frame rates like that. You know, that just screams poor coding to me, and it's pretty much unacceptable. But the combat's smooth, so it's kind of like, okay, can I deal with, it's all about you as a person, can you deal with stuttering and awkward drops in frame rate when you're in the city, where combat is actually pretty smooth. You know, like it's definitely not dropping in frames, so that's a good thing, you know. I mean, that's what we want to see. We want to see performance where there's no stuttering. We want to see this, you know. We want to see it stay at that 59. And then we want to be able to turn off that on-screen display and go, hey, I don't have to worry about this. This is smooth. It's not dropping to 40, 30 frames per second, you know. And I think I'm going to, oh, shh. Better use one of those. I didn't even realize. Too busy watching the frames and not watching the game. But yeah, so far so good for the combat. It's a huge improvement over X2. Hopefully we get a little patch to clear up the little stuttering effects we get through going through towns. That'd be nice. You know, if that occurs, I'm sure I might make a update on the video performance, you know, just to see how the game's going. And geez, I definitely am not that good at these games, but hey, I basically wanted to show performance and how well this game's running, especially compared to X2, which was just terrible. And I don't think Thunder really does that much against these things. Apparently not. Yeah, it doesn't do that great at all. Maybe Ice does more damage. Yep, definitely the Blizzard, and I think I'm gonna go down. This thing is just whooping me. So I think we're gonna end the video right there. So it seems like we're a little half and half on performance for the game. In towns, have awkward stuttering moments, yet the combat stays at a constant 60 frames from what I've seen so far. Can't really ask for anything more for that part of the game. However, we do have our moments where we notice this is just pretty much a straight up console port with a few graphics options that make it look slightly better than the PlayStation 3 version, but nothing major. Again, like I said, it is a straight up console port. So you can either get this game now or wait for it to go on sale. I'm pretty sure on a Steam sale this game's going to be like $9.99, you know, maybe even $4.99, who knows. You may want to wait for that. So the scales are kind of 50-50, like I said. You got the awkward performance in the towns, running through them, dropping down to 42 frames per second using an i7 4770K with a single 970, but yet combat is smooth as butter. So it's kind of give and take. But this is a lot better than X2, I'll give it that. So I'm gonna probably end up playing through this game, and now if I do see, you know, terrible performance in combat, I will do an update video, but I would like to wait and see if they patch this game a little bit before I do an update video. Maybe they'll work out some performance issues that I've seen and displayed in this video. Alright, well, with that being said, happy PC gaming. Laters.